What is up, everybody? My name is Sabrina, and thank you for checking out Dear Spirit Podcast. And I want to thank you again for your patience. I know originally I was supposed to release my first episode on January 9th, the day after completing my shamanic training. But what I didn't foresee was the time I needed to integrate everything that we had been doing over those past couple days. And I also needed time to make some meaningful connections with some of the people in my life. So I thank you for that. I also started my new Paradigm 13D training over the weekend. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it's a form of energy healing. It's very similar to Reiki, but in comparison, it's more freeing and more expansive. And a couple days right before we started the training, I started to experience a sore throat and a cough. And one thing about me, I do not like being sick. And the crazy thing was, I wasn't even sick. It was really just my throat was bothering me. So I knew it was some sort of blockage going on there. And when it came down to recording, I was like a stuttering mess. I really had trouble expressing myself and really showing up in a way that I know I was capable of showing up. And in the workshop, I was also able to release a sacral blockage as well, which is really, your sacral is all about creativity and things like that. So I had this aha moments in the workshop, which was pretty cool. And even though I had a specific episode that I wanted to put out, I had an even deeper pull to talk about a certain topic. So I think the way that I'm going to choose the topics that I talk about each episode is really just allowing myself to tap in and feel the energy. So the question I want to ask you guys is, does anybody have it all figured out? Like, really? And I only asked that question because of an experience I had in a workshop over the weekend. And that question is, can fear block you from finding your purpose? But before we fully dive deep into this episode, I really want to pull from one of my favorite oracle decks, which is the Energy Oracle deck. And I want to do that because I want to see collectively where we are on purpose, and if there's anything that I need to shed light on and really bring to the forefront for this episode. So this was kind of different. I only wanted one card, and out of my hand fell 6. My hands are sweating over here. But I think we're going to touch on all of them, especially throughout the episode. The first card that popped up or showed up is the Temple Path. So this card is about spiritual purpose and support. This card really represents what you're going through now and how it's all a part of your soul's process, and that you're on your karmic path and you're also headed in the right direction. And the choices that you make now in the present moment are important, and they influence your personal growth and life lessons. And the card also has these beautiful golden orbs around the temple. And those golden orbs represent the spirit world, whether it's an ancestor, friend, angel, or guide. All of these spirits are here and wanting to assist you. So feel free to call upon them for inspiration and also the wisdom that they keep. So the next card that showed up is the Journey card, of course. And this card really, to me, just represents your soul being on the journey. You have this lady on this bridge, and the bridge to me represents transitions. She's holding a lantern, but in another direction, but her body is faced in the opposite direction and her bags are packed. So to me, it's just taking a journey into the unknown, right? So the next card is the walking away card, which to me relates to the journey card. You have this lady in this beautiful flowy dress. She opens this white and gold gate. She steps through it. Behind the gate, you can see it just looks really blissful, and she has a beautiful smile on her face. You can see the butterflies in the cards and the blossoming trees. It really represents letting go and moving on, letting go of situations, whether it's a relationship or false belief, or just something that does not serve your highest good and best interest. Being okay to walk away from that and letting it go and choosing healthier way of thinking and being, really. I think when you begin to make the decision to walk away from those situations that drain you energetically and kind of drag you down, you're able to truly begin to tap into what it is you're put here to do and really enjoy all that life has to offer you. Next card that showed up was the fifth chakra, Archangel Gabriel. Like, I can't make this stuff up. So what I'm going to do is just read this whole little column here. Let's see what Archangel Gabriel has to say. So this card is all about self-expression and speaking your truth. Gabriel holds his trumpet in one hand and a beautiful orb of blue light in the other. He is sending powerful energy to your throat center, acknowledging your power to communicate and your readiness to do so. This angel opens you up to truthful expressions, both with yourself and others. You may have had trouble with expressing emotions and ideas in the past, but Gabriel is here to tell you that your soul longs to take this leap now. Be aware that true communication includes how you speak to yourself, so never deny your profound, integral value. Speak up for yourself. Write in your journal. Let your words flow. Now is the time to express yourself freely and fully, and the universe always honors your choice to do so. This card could also indicate that a communication project is coming, or a time of heightened communication with spirit and telepathy with others. You know what? We're going to say this quick affirmation if you're having troubles with your throat chakra. It's actually out of this book. Okay. My throat chakra is open to its perfect healthy state, spinning with the beautiful energy of freedom and self-empowerment. I am free to express myself in every way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. How beautiful is that? Okay, so next up we have the yin yang symbol, which to me is really all about balance. And what I'm feeling now is just to really be in a place of less doing and to just really be in the present moment. So the last card to show up is the Patience card, and it is all about peaceful presence and letting go of desperation. And when I think of this card, I really think about us being co-creators, really and truly. And when we're creating, things, manifesting things, we don't want to really be attracting things out of that desperation type of energy, and just really leaning in and trusting the process and knowing that everything is going to happen in divine timing. Really. So that is the episode Carpool. I thought it was one and it ended up being 6. But I think it was all things that I needed and maybe you guys needed. So let's get more into the episode. So back to the question, can fear block you from finding your purpose? And I really do think so. I think that if you allow fear to take the wheel and drive, it's going to do just that. I don't know how many of you guys did this, but when I was around 13 or 14, I would always ask myself, like, why did God create me? Like, what's my purpose? Why am I here? I don't know if I was just being a super weird kid or not, but I used to always ask myself that. And that is really a question I struggled with for a long time. And you would think, like, out of all of the schooling that I have and the certifications under my belt and training, that I would have found out what my purpose was a lot sooner or would have been a step ahead. But to be honest with you, doing all of that stuff made me even more confused. When I really wanted to discover myself on a deeper level, I went down a rabbit hole looking for answers. And you know, in spirituality, everything is exciting, and you want to buy this and you want to buy that, and that shit gets expensive. So I made the decision this year to, like, stop chasing everything and to move more purposeful. And when I did that, I actually had time to reflect and realize that I actually knew for quite some time what my purpose was, and for a long time that I was reacting out of fear. So that's why I asked you guys that, because I don't know how many people know that a lot of the things that we do is really rooted in fear. So one of my fears was I wasn't smart enough, and that is one of the main forces behind why I spent so much time chasing those workshops, chasing those trainings, chasing that schooling, is because I didn't believe I was smart enough. And then another one was people thinking that I was crazy or weird, and I spent a lot of time trying to put myself into a more suitable box until I just realized, fuck it. It is what it is. And another one, this was a huge fear for me. It was that I would not be able to provide for myself and my family doing spiritual work. And I noticed that that was a big problem when I started to talk myself out of opportunities and talk myself out of clientele. It's crazy how you can believe a false belief so strongly that you support it and not even know. And I just want to say, now is the time to move out of fear and tap into your potential, your limitless possibilities. So whatever false belief you're holding on to, that one that's running wild in your mind, write it down and try to figure out and connect the dots on how you've been supporting that false belief. Now, to do that, you probably need to do some intuitive writing or meditate, journey. Another thing you can do, which is one of my favorites, is I like to set an intention with the help of my spirit team before I go to bed. Ask them to help bring awareness to how you have been supporting whatever that false belief is. or where the belief began. And you might be surprised because it may show up from this present life, or it could even show up from a past life. So just make sure that you have a notebook and pen handy so that you are able to jot down what it is that you need to know. So once you find out where your false belief derived from, you can begin to make changes by canceling out that false belief and creating a new one and using that as a daily mantra or affirmation. And if you still struggle with it, calling your spirit team, ask for guidance, and be open to receive. One thing I had to do is trust that I am always being guided. And I actually do have a story about that, and it relates really good to all 6 cards that I pulled for the episode, which is funny. So the cards we pulled was the Temple Path, Journey, Walking Away, Archangel Gabriel with the 5th chakra, Yin Yang, and Patience. So a couple months ago, I was laying in a bed and I started to receive messages from Spirit. And I didn't know like who was talking to me, but I didn't feel scared at all. It felt very loving and inviting. So the crazy thing is I can't remember what the heck was being said to me. Like for some reason, my mind is completely blank now. But I do remember after a while, I asked who I was connecting with. And I remember being told to get up and get my Oracle deck card. So I got up and did just that. And one thing about me is I like to organize all my Oracle cards. I will face them all upright and put them in the box facing down when I'm done with them. So I open up the box and the card on the top is Archangel Metatron. And this card was flipped facing up. And it had this star symbol I was seeing for like several days prior. So I was just like, wow, this is like really crazy. I don't even know who Archangel Metatron is. And then I had to do digging afterwards. But anyway, so for some reason I got this huge urge to contact my sister. Now, me and my sister, we do have a community garden together, as well as we have a natural soap business together as well. And I just felt so called to give her my part of the business so she could become the sole owner. And me getting those messages from Metatron was really that confirmation I needed that it was okay to do so. Because deep down for a long time, I really knew that I wasn't going to be able to continue with the community garden and continue making handmade soap, especially in the large quantities that we do it and expand, and then also come up with social media content and also work full-time as a nurse. Like I just have so much on my plate. And I got to a point where I didn't want to do anything because I was just so tired. Too much of my time was being consumed with the business, and I knew if I was to continue, I wouldn't have time for the hands-on healing, the workshops, and all the exciting things that are yet to come. So I'm so glad my sister was receptive, and I'm glad that I actually listened to what it is that my soul really desires. So it really does start with trust. I think that is all I have for you guys today. But before I close out the episode, I want you guys to know I am hosting a free full moon energy release circle on Eventbrite February 5th at 10 o'clock. So if you're interested, I will put more information in the show notes. Also, I will put information on my Facebook page at Sabrina Darling. So until next time, peace and light.